Hello everyone, welcome you all in my YouTube channel. This is the fourth video of the series AZ-400 exam. Moving towards questions. This is a drag and drop based question. Your company wants to use Azure Application Insight to understand how user behavior affect an application. Which application insight tool should you use to analyze each behavior? These are the tools: impact, user flows, and users. And answer area is feature usage, number of people who use the action and its feature, the effect that performance of the application has on the usage of a page or a feature. And correct options would be feature usage is used by the tool user flows. Number of people who use the action and its feature is used by users, and the effect that the performance of an application has on the usage of a page or a feature will be impact. Moving towards next question. Your company is building a mobile app that targets Android and iOS devices. Your team uses Azure DevOps to manage all the work items and release cycles. You need to recommend a solution to perform the following tasks. And the task would be collect crash report for issue analytics, distribute beta release to your testers, get user feedback on the functionality of new apps. What should you include in the recommendations? And options are the Microsoft Test and Feedback extension, Microsoft Visual Studio App Center integration, Azure Application Insight Widget, Jenkins integration. And correct option would be option A, Microsoft Test and Feedback extension. Moving towards next question. You have Azure DevOps project named Project 1 and Azure subscription named Sub1. Sub1 contains an Azure virtual machine skill set named VMSS1. VMSS1 hosts a web application named WebApp1. WebApp1 uses stateful sessions. The WebApp1 installation is managed by using custom script extension. The script resides in an Azure storage account named SA1. You plan to make a minor change in a UI element of a web and to gather user feedback about the change. You need to implement limited user testing for the new version of WebApp1 on the VM SS1. Which three actions should you perform? Options would be modify load balancer setting of VMSS1. Option B, redeploy VMSS1. Option C, upload a custom script file to SA1. Option D, modify the custom script extension setting of VMSS1. And option E, update the configuration of a virtual machine in VMSS1. We have to select the three correct options. And the three correct options would be option B, option C, and option D. Moving towards next questions. You are monitoring the health and performance of an Azure web app by using Azure Application Insight. You need to ensure that an alert is sent when the web app has a sudden rise in the performance issues and failures. What should you use? Option A, customer event. Option B, application insight profiler. Option C, usage analysis. Option D, smart detection. Option E, continuous export. And correct option would be option D, smart detection. Moving towards next question. You have project in Azure DevOps named Contoso app that contains pipelines in Azure Pipeline for GitHub repositories. You need to ensure that developers receive Microsoft Teams notification when there are failures in the pipeline of Contoso app. What should you run in T? Answer area would provide @Azure pipeline feedback sign in subscribe subscription. https://dev.azure.com/contoso/contoso-app/. So the correct options would be at Azure Pipeline, subscribe, and https colon double slash dev.azure.com/contoso/contoso dash app slash. Moving towards next question. You have a private GitHub repository. You need to deploy the commit status of repository on the Azure board. What should you do first? Option A, configure MFA for your GitHub account. Option B, add Azure pipeline to add the GitHub repository. Option C, add Azure board app to the repository. And option D, create a GitHub action in GitHub. And correct option would be option C, add the Azure board app to the repository. Moving towards next question. You are integrating Azure Pipeline and Microsoft Teams. You install Azure Pipeline app in Microsoft Teams. You have an Azure DevOps organization named Contoso that contains a project named Project 1. You subscribe Project 1 in Microsoft Teams. You need to ensure that you only receive events about failed builds in the Microsoft Teams. What should you do first? Option A, from Microsoft Teams run at Azure Pipeline, subscribe https colon double slash dev.azure.com/contoso/project1. Option B, from Azure Pipeline, add a publish build artifact task to project 1. Option C, from Microsoft Teams, run at Azure Pipeline subscription. Option D, from Azure Pipeline, enable continuous integration for project 1. And correct option would be option A, from Microsoft Teams, run add Azure Pipeline, subscribe https colon double slash dev.azure.com/contoso/project1. Moving towards next question. You have an Azure DevOps organization named Contoso. You need to receive Microsoft Team notifications when work items are updated. What should you do? Option A, from Azure DevOps configure a service hook subscription. Option B, from Microsoft Team configure a connector. Option C, from Microsoft Team Admin Center configure external access. Option D, from Microsoft Teams add a channel. Option E, from Azure DevOps install an extension. And correct option would be option A, from Azure DevOps configure a service hook subscription. Moving towards next question. You have web app hosted on Azure App Service. The web app stores data in Azure SQL database. You need to generate an alert when there are 10,000 simultaneous connections in the database. The solution must minimize the development efforts. Which option should you select in the diagnostic setting of the database? Option A, send to log analytics. Option B, stream to event hub. Option C, archive to storage account. And correct option is option A, send to log analytics. Moving towards next question. You have an Azure subscription that contains multiple Azure services. You need to send an SMS alert when scheduled maintenance is planned for the Azure services. Which two actions should you perform? Each correct option presents the part of the solution. Option A, enable Azure Security Center. Option B, create and configure Azure Monitor Alert Rule. Option C, create an Azure Service Health Alert. Option D, create and configure Action Group. And two correct options would be option C, create an Azure Service Health Alert, and option D, create and configure Action Group.